The Death of the Goddess, a poem in 12 cantos by Patrick Cullum Hogan, with a preface by Rachel Fell McDermott, published in 2014 by Two Leaf Press. From Canto VI, The Birth of the Goddess. The clustering waves, the cool, thick tumble and bright spray, smooth and heavy on the skin, water which was the goddess's soft weight and yielding flesh, now released from boundaries of fixed shape and place. This was the friend's first taste of ecstasy, for until then he had refrained from all corporeal joy as slavery of the mind. This engulfment carried in its train as well intimations of the culminating bliss, the ultimate release from self. Could that, he wondered, too, be union? Looking up into the brilliant blue dome of sky and diffuse light, through the sheer glimmering mirror of the waterfall, he saw, no more distant than the reach of their own arms to touch, fingers and palms, the perfection and the prototype of form, more exquisite than any fancy taken on by the Saviour to confuse the gullible gods. And yet, she was substantial as the Lord of Tears himself. It was as if the first idea, the first shape that oriented thought and drive had taken on perception, intent, and act. He was transfixed, and blank to place or time or flux of sense, like a dervish or a nectar addict, fallen into trance. Does she speak? Speak, goddess. Does she feel the cool and heat, recognize the face she sees, feel love and hate, sorrow, mercy? All the affections that modify the will and bruise one's peace share the private now, fading endlessly into remembrance, and fixless sense of unreachable ephemeral eye? Or is she illusion only, just a trick of flickering light and shadow played by blood and memory on unsteady sight? Her skin was blinding in its glimmering brightness, and so, like the mountain snow, he almost thought it melted at the waist and flowed into the river where he tried to stand. But her hair was black as moonless night, or as the poison he still held inside his throat, and her mouth was red as berries or fresh blood. Suddenly he knew who waded toward him in the swelling pool, and as once he granted other gods their one desire, now he named his own, not nectar, but what is still more rare and beautiful, and yet accessible to all the sentient forms, no matter what their rank, their station, or their place in law. He whispered it with trembling lips in awe.